Shih Tzus will eat whatever you put in front of them. If you happen to drop something on the floor and they gobble it up, in most cases, they should be fine with eating things in moderation. However, there are some foods that are extremely toxic and not safe for Shih Tzus to eat, even in small amounts. Knowing what Shih Tzus cannot eat is really important in keeping your dog safe. That's why in this video we will share 18 most dangerous foods for Shih Tzus that they should never eat. Number 1. Chocolate. This is most commonly misunderstood food that Shih Tzus cannot eat, and the one that leads to most people having to call a vet. It's all due to the toxic theobromine substance in chocolate. Just small amounts can make your Shih Tzu sick, so if chocolate drops on the floor, pick it up immediately. In large quantities, your dog will vomit, and in more serious cases develop an abnormal heartbeat, tremors, seizure, and even death. Number 2. Onions, garlic, leeks, and chives. All of these foods are in the Allium family. Anything in this bracket is a poisonous food for Shih Tzus, whether it's been boiled, cooked, or whatever. It's not something your Shih Tzu should eat ever. These foods are said to make dogs feel poorly, and in larger amounts can lead to red blood cell damage. You won't always see symptoms of poisoning straight away, as it can take a few days for the toxic effects to take effect. Number 3. Artificial sweetener, xylitol, in gum and mints. Xylitol is one of the most toxic things a Shih Tzu can eat, and is commonly found in some mints and sugar-free gums. According to research, xylitol is 100 times more toxic than chocolate is for dogs. If they just eat one stick of gum with xylitol, a small dog could see their blood sugar levels dip considerably. If the small dog went on to eat a whole pack of gum with 10 sticks containing toxic xylitol, it could damage their liver irreparably and possibly even kill them. Number 4. Candy and sweets. It's not just the foods above that come with toxic xylitol. Some candy brands do too, so always check the labeling. To be frank, you shouldn't be letting your dog eat candy anyway, even if it's free of poisonous xylitol. Why? It's due to the sugar levels, plus there's also the risk of choking or blockages in your Shih Tzu's digestive tract or tooth fractures. Number 5. Certain peanut butter brands. Our Shih Tzu loves peanut butter. It's one of his favorite treats, especially when we put it in a Kong toy. However, some peanut butter brands include xylitol. This substance is toxic to dogs and needs to be avoided at all costs due to poisoning. Number 6. Corn on the cob. Corn on the cob is not among the poisonous foods for Shih Tzus, but is dangerous due to the cob part. These can lodge in the throat of your dog and intestines, so should be avoided at all costs. Sweet corn is fine, as this will be easily digestible though. Number 7. Cooked bones. Everyone knows that dogs love to eat bones. They're a great source of minerals and nutrients for your pooch. However, you should be incredibly careful if you do give them bones to chew on. They're not poisonous, but what makes them dangerous when cooked is that they can become brittle and break apart. This means that the bones can splinter into fragments and shards, which not only pose a choking risk to your dog, but also cause serious risks to their mouth, throat, and intestines. Number 8. Avocado. Avocado is another food that should never be given to your dog. This is because of a poisonous toxin called persin, which is concentrated mainly in the skin and pit of the avocado. Number 9. Bread dough. If a dog ingests yeast dough, it'll continue to heat up and rise in their stomach and intestines, likely blocking them. This is extremely problematic in a Shih Tzu's digestive system and can lead to extreme pain and a twisting of the gut. This can interfere with several internal organs, therefore potentially proving fatal. The yeast can also ferment in the stomach, changing into ethanol, which may lead to alcohol poisoning. Number 10. Coffee, caffeine, and tea. 1 or 2 drops of tea or coffee won't do your Shih Tzu any harm. However, consumed in moderately larger quantities, there is serious cause for concern, as large amounts of caffeine can prove fatal for smaller dogs such as Shih Tzus. This is because of the methylxanthines in caffeine, which cause similar reactions in dogs to chocolate. If your Shih Tzu is exhibiting any of the following symptoms: vomiting, abnormal heart rate, hyperactivity, muscle tremors, seizures, or hyperthermia, then call your vet immediately as a matter of emergency. Number 11. Mustard seeds. Dogs tend to hate the strong smell and taste of mustard. In fact, it's so vomit-inducing for Shih Tzus that vets sometimes use it to make them vomit for treatments and other medical purposes. The seeds are particularly toxic as they contain a number of poisonous ingredients to dogs. Number 12. Macadamia nuts. All nuts should ideally be avoided in a Shih Tzu's diet as they are the size and texture of a food that often leads to choking. Macadamia nuts are particularly poisonous and can cause hyperthermia, vomiting, and lethargy. Number 13. Alcohol. It'll come as no surprise that alcohol is highly toxic for all dogs. For Shih Tzus, this is no different. In fact, their smaller stomachs and faster metabolism means that only a very small amount of alcohol can have a potentially catastrophic effect. It can cause obvious symptoms of illness such as diarrhea and vomiting, as well as more serious issues including abnormal blood acidity, central nervous system depression, and even death. So if you're ever tempted to give your dog a little sip from your beer glass down the pub as a laugh, don't. Number 14. Cherry, peach, and plum pits. Due to the size of pips and seeds like this, they can become lodged in the intestines of smaller dogs like Shih Tzus. Blockages are a very real risk, so don't let things like this anywhere near your dog's mouth. There are also trace elements of cyanide in the pits of some fruits like peach and plum. It would take a heck of a lot to poison your Shih Tzu, but it's a bad food either way. Number 15. Hops. On a similar topic, the hops that are used in homebrewing kits are also a dangerous ingredient for Shih Tzus to eat. There are compounds in the hops that lead to malignant hyperthermia. That means your Shih Tzu's temperature can rise rapidly, possibly causing permanent damage to the organs and brain or even death. Number 16. Blue cheese. Now that you know dairy isn't a good option for dogs, it's hardly surprising that some cheeses can also be poisonous. Blue cheeses such as Roquefort and Stilton should especially be avoided. This is because they contain the compound Roquefortine C, which is known to elicit bad reactions in dogs. Some of these bad reactions include alarming symptoms, such as a tendency to experience tremors and seizures. Number 17. Fat trimming. To preserve the good health of your beloved Shih Tzu, avoid giving them fat trimmings. It's also worth trimming any excess fat off of fresh cooked meats before giving them to your pooch. As I've looked to explain a number of times already, too much fat in your Shih Tzu's diet can result in them developing pancreatitis, a potentially fatal disease. Number 18. Moldy food. If your dog has access to some of your trash bins, it's important to be careful. Moldy food is harmful for Shih Tzus as it can often carry unpleasant mycotoxins, which is poisonous when ingested. This reaction can be worsened if the moldy food your dog has eaten is another poisonous and toxic item from this list. If this is the case, you're best off contacting your vet as soon as you can.